Well, with that in mind, I do believe you have a very special treat for us.
It is a treat. So I write a lot of smut. Some of it's standalone. This is one of those where you don't really have to read any of my other stories to know what's going on, although you probably, Travis, should play Mass Effect to know what's going on. This was a prompt. I was bored and I didn't know what to write, but I wanted to write, and so I asked my friends to send me prompts, and my friend sent this prompt, Zip Me, and this is the smut that I came up with.
Travis, would you do me the honors?
I believe I can. The mission had gone well. They cleared out of the Cerberus presence, and the cannons were operational again. The firefight had been intense, but the team hadn't sustained any injuries. Blood was still pumping faster than usual through Shepard's veins, and he watched Caden silently as the other men laughed and joked with James. In the aftermath of a fight, adrenaline always made Shepard's skin extra sensitive, and he couldn't help imagining what he wanted to do with Caden's scarred lips once they were back in the cabin. When the shuttle settled into Normandy's Bay, Shepard stood still, one hand still gripping the handle over his head. James exited first, shouting excitedly to Garrus, who'd come down to the shuttle bay to talk to them about the mission. Caden hopped out after him, and Shepard licked his lips at the sight of his body flexing under his armor. Steve gave Shepard a curious glance when he left the shuttle's cockpit and saw him standing there. When their eyes met, Steve's confusion melted away and he grinned knowingly. He gave a half salute and jumped out of the shuttle as well. Shepard felt his lips twitch up into a smile, but it faded quickly. Stepping down out of the shuttle, he stopped next to it, and his eyes found Caden immediately. The Major was talking to Garrus while James started unsnapping the fastenings of his armor. Something predatory welled up in him. "Major," he said simply. His voice was soft, but pitched to Carrie. Everyone stopped what they were doing to look at him. Caden's brow furrowed in confusion. "Yes, Commander?" he asked when Shepard didn't speak. Shepard wanted to laugh. It wasn't his intentions to use the voice of command that had most soldiers snapping to attention. It had just come out. "I need to speak with you for a moment," he said, still in that low tone. "Alone." Garrus and James exchanged surprised looks, but Steve just grinned. "Everyone out," he said. He threw an arm around James's shoulder and guided him towards the elevator doors. James must have caught on to what had been happening because he didn't complain about still being in his own heavy armor. He grinned too and let Steve lead him away. Garrus still looked confused, probably thinking he'd never fully understand humans, but he also followed. When the shuttle bay was empty, Shepard stalked towards Caden. Absently, he started unbuckling parts of his armor as he walked. Caden finally caught on to his mood. "I get the feeling you didn't really want to talk," he said. Shepard had reached him by that time. He grabbed the edge of Caden's armor and pulled him into a rough kiss. Normally, he wasn't very aggressive, but he was so damn happy and relieved that something had gone right this time. It was making him feel a little more alpha male than normal. Caden was allowing him to take charge. He opened up to the kiss and moaned into Shepard's mouth. Their armor made clacking noises as their bodies tried to connect through the layers of metal and polymer. Still holding him in place, Shepard broke the kiss. Their breath had turned a harsh gasp again, reminding him of the shouts and gasps that would come through his comlink during battle, and his adrenaline spiked again. "I want you to suck me off," he said against Caden's mouth. "Sounds like a good idea to me," Caden said, his scarred mouth turned up in a smile that Shepard couldn't see from this close, but he could feel as their mouths brushed again. They both began to fumble at Shepard's armor, removing the groin plate, and nothing else. Caden dropped to his knees and reached for the seal of Shepard's undersuit. Despite the fact that he was still wearing his gauntlets, he soon had the seal open and Shepard's hard dick free. The feel of Caden's gauntlet hands on his flesh ratcheted Shepard's desire to several more notches. Roughly, he palmed the back of Caden's head and pulled him forward. Hot, wet heat engulfed him, and his head fell back as far back as his armor would allow. Unable to stop himself, he thrust his hips forward, encouraging the other man to take him deeper. For several minutes, the only sound in the shuttle bay was the sound of Shepard's moans and low words of encouragement, the wet sucking sounds of Caden's mouth around his dick, and the hum of electricity that was always in the background. When he came, it was with a grunt and a soft, muttered, "Fuck yes." Shepard's knees went weak, and he stumbled back against the counter and out of Caden's grip. He closed his eyes and sucked in lungfuls of air. There was a soft chuckle, and the sound of armor against the metal floor as Caden got back to his feet. Soft lips pressed against Shepard's jaw. "Feel better?" Caden asked, low and husky. "I feel fucking fantastic. Thank you," Shepard murmured. He opened his eyes to find Caden grinning at him. "I'm going to need a few minutes to return the favor, though." Caden laughed again. "Let's get out of this armor and go up to your cabin," he said. His dark eyes glinted with promise. "You can pay me back by letting me fuck you over the desk." Suddenly Shepard didn't feel so drained. "Yes, sir," he agreed as his hands reached for more buckles.
Well, that was absolutely stunning. I know I'm erect. You, Eric?
I need to be somewhere else right now. Excuse me.
I love gay sex.
But don't we all?